Hey guys, it's Owen here. Just coming on here. We're gonna make a quick little video, and first off, I want to start off by saying I'm really sorry about the lighting here. I tried to use background blur to get rid of it over here, but it is just so bright. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna be doing a little video here. It's a little different from what I usually do, but it's also new channel, new me, bro. So this video is gonna be talking a lot about Concord here and how Concord has failed a lot harder than you might actually think. And you might ask yourself, well, how does Concord fail even harder, even though it has already failed so bad? Like, they lasted like a week or two, and those week or two, everyone was hating on it. And Sony thought this was going to be the biggest game of the century, which was honestly crazy. I know they thought it was going to be like the Overwatch killer, which is honestly kind of depressing. But yeah, so this does kind of suck for them, honestly. I don't really know how it fully happened, but yeah. So we're gonna start off with a few points on how you can really tell that Concord is an awful game, and it failed a lot harder. The fact that it only lasted 2 weeks shows that there's zero confidence in ever bringing it back because of all the hate it got. Now, you can argue that a lot of live service games get hate because a lot of the live service games that have come out have absolutely sucked, and it's been honestly crazy. But when you look at it, you look at games, I can still go play the Suicide Squad game, go grab a couple of friends and play it. Even though it sucks, they still realize they're still updating it, and they're still trying to make a game functional, no matter how much hate it received. Batman Arkham fans, who have been diehard fans of the series since the early, Batman Arkham Asylum days, were super excited for this game. When they heard it was going to be live service, me personally, I was really excited, because I thought, wow, the Batman Arkham universe, and I get to experience it with some of my friends. The idea really was there. I honestly supported it when they said that they were going live service. While I was a little disappointed it wasn't keeping traditional Batman Arkham style games, like the way the fighting worked and stuff, I got it because you know what? We weren't playing a Batman game. We're playing a Suicide Squad game, which is honestly way different than what any of us could have really imagined. And the fact about that was it failed. The game failed hard, but you know what? I can still, right now, to this day, get off the making this video and go play the Suicide Squad game with my friends. They're on Season 2, the Mr. Frost season. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but honestly, I do think it is pretty good. Next up, I'd like to, talk about another game that, another superhero live service game that failed. I don't think the servers are still up, but damn, they lasted a whole lot longer than. So, the Marvel Avengers game. Does anyone remember that? There was a lot of hype surrounding it. The idea of an online Avengers game where you got to be the Avengers with your friends sounded fucking awesome. Everyone wanted it. Well, at least I think a lot of the people I talked to about it were really excited towards it. And I thought, hey, you know what? I was with my friends. I think when it came out, I was still a lot younger. So, I'm not actually 100% sure on when it came out. But I was pretty young-ish at the time, so I remember all my friends, we were huge Marvel fans, we were nerds about it. We're like, alright, you're going to be Iron Man, you're going to be Hulk. We were strategizing it because we just grew up with the movies, and the movies gave us such nostalgia. And, Endgame was awesome, and since then there's just been an overall downfall. I'm really getting sad at the thing that, Concord, I feel like needs to make a statement. And the statement that Concord makes is you can't just keep making shit games and expecting them to do well. And I'm glad Sony was the one who got the big smack in the face, knowing that they're the ones who produced the Spider-Man movies, which is, everyone loves them, and, yeah. Now, I do want to apologize quickly about this video being all over the place. This is my first video, and I promise higher quality videos. I overall had the idea about it, and I was spending all day thinking about it. So, yeah. Next thing I'm going to talk about is, the fact that it was only September 30th, 2023, when Marvel Avengers decided, hey, you know what? We're all done updating, servers are down, whatever. That game was out for a long time, and they spent a lot of time updating. Because on the initial launch, Black Panther wasn't in the game, Spider-Man wasn't in the game, and a bunch of other people, I'm pretty sure Kate Bishop wasn't in the game. There's tons of people who just weren't in the game, and they said, hey, we have this whole arsenal of Marvel characters, why don't we try and fix it? And that's what they made the attempt to do, and obviously the game got players, and people kept playing it. I saw it on my TikTok, on YouTube, of people giving it a try, and honestly, I played it too, and I didn't think it was that bad. Now people were going, oh, the Spider-Man swing was just god-awful compared to the Spider-Man game. Well, here's the thing. They weren't trying to be the next Spider-Man game. The Spider-Man games are the Spider-Man games, and that's all we really need. So, after talking a little bit about that, I was, after being more open to it, I was like, you know what? This isn't that bad. Another live service game you probably haven't heard in a while is Anthem. I'm not 100% sure if Anthem is still up, but I remember playing it, it was not great. And do you want to think that all of these games have in common? They were all massively hated. So, but you know what? They all kept pushing, and even though their products were shit, they had kind of care to them. Concord now. Let's talk about Concord. Concord seemed to fail so hard, and I played the open beta, and I honestly was just bored. The game looked cool, the game looked polished, but there was nothing about it that really stood out. There was no niche. The reason the reason everyone is not a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or a rapper is because every person, when they do something when it comes to entertainment purposes, they have their niche, the thing that people like to see from that specific person or thing. When you're watching a TV show, they do think, if every TV show is the exact same, would every TV show be good? No. The Avengers game, I guess the niche was kind of Avengers. Anthem was the robots. It was super cool. But Concord just seemed like it wanted to be the next big game. But problem was, it was just a generic shit show that nobody really wanted. No one knew who these characters were, and there was not that much marketing for it, which just led to it being overall worse. Another thing I'd like to mention is how ugly all of the characters are. I don't think any of the characters look good in that game. I think the only character that I actually said, wow, he looks kind of cool, is the big yellow dude for the kind of like quote-unquote cuteness factor. I thought he was just a cool-looking character. I think he shot like wind or he like sucked things. I don't really know. But he was overall just a cool character, and when I played him, he was fun-ish, but the game overall just felt bland. Yeah, so continuing from there, I want to talk about the fact that all these games that were hated that I was talking about before, Anthem, Avengers, Suicide Squad, they're still going, and, some are shut down now, but they made attempts to try and, fix the game. Concord failed so hard and got so much community backlash that they decided, hey, fuck it, we're done with this, shutting down refund to everyone, because they knew that there was no saving. Here's what I think happened. Someone in an office was just sitting there, and they're like, we need the next big game. What's a game that's been around for a while that needs to go? Everyone thought, well, we can't take down Call of Duty. You know what? What about Overwatch? Everyone likes Overwatch. It's a fun, casual game that also has a good competitive side to it. I can sit back and play a nice Overwatch unranked game and just have some fun. They last maybe 10, 15 minutes, not that long, not time-consuming. Or I can play ranked, and it's just a whole different, skill gap. There's things to get good at, and it's good. So someone definitely saw that and said, you know what, let's make this, but, new. Because with Overwatch 2 coming out, let's be honest, if I showed you Overwatch 1 gameplay and Overwatch 2 gameplay, the only thing you'd say is, why is Overwatch 1 better? And there's just honestly, nothing really to happen. The game didn't really expand. If you think about it, it's like when, in, I think the early 2000s, or not early 2000s, maybe 2007, past then, a lot of World of Warcraft was doing really well, and World of Warcraft was this game phenomenon that everyone loved, and other studios said, alright, World of Warcraft is a problem, it's too big, we need to make something in the genre to kill it. So I think Concord was supposed to be the Overwatch killer, and they planned so well. Some guy was just so delusional, he's sitting in his office like, god damn, this is the best thing I've ever came up with. And yeah, it was the worst thing he ever came up with. And you can really tell that there was no, original idea for this, as they kind of just, took the basic generic PvP game with cartoony characters. Except I don't get to go zip around like a sexy Widowmaker. No, I get to go be some fat bitch. And, that's nothing to fat bitches, but let's be honest, bro, fat bitches don't want to play fat bitches. They want to play Widowmaker and be hot in a game, because they're not hot in real life. That's the honest truth, and it truly sucks that that's just how it has to be. That's the world we live in, though. If you can't accept the world we live in, what do we even have, you're just delusional. If I want to go live in Concord, none of those characters really have the ideal body type, per se. A lot of people would rather be Widowmaker, Tracer, or Mercy, rather than, Betty the Cow from Concord, who has an assault rifle. All the characters were very just bland. They're just like, looks like they went to some AI software and said make a video game character, and they just took whatever they could out of there. It's no diss to any of the workers. I know some like the developers were getting kind of pissed, saying you do it, you make a game like this, but I feel like there was no really lead. There was nothing for them to work on. I truly feel bad for them because they probably worked really, really hard on making this game. The game did feel like a game. You know, I wasn't playing some shit pressing shoot and my gun wasn't shooting. You know, everything ran well. It was just generic and boring. And I feel like Call of Duty is as generic and boring as it gets. It's the shooter that's been around forever where they just up the graphics and, you know, add the fucking A-Train or Batman as a skin for people to buy. That's mainly why I think Concord was failed, and it truly is sad to see that the game is gone fully, because they made zero attempt to try and save it. But potentially that was for the better. I feel bad because there's definitely just a warehouse chilling somewhere. It's a Sony warehouse full of these Concord controllers. And I don't know if the game was on disc, but I guarantee you if they had it on disc, just a big crate, and they're going to drop them all in the ocean, and hopefully Concord's forgotten about. I feel bad, though, because even with Concord being a complete failure, people are still going to talk about it as I'm talking about it right now. So, yeah, I'm going to put together the video now. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I do really appreciate it. If we can get a rip Concord in the comments, and, you know, if you guys would like to drop a sub, you know, I'm going to get better at making content, hopefully, and actually focus on making more YouTube videos that are just more chill and things I want to talk about. Before you guys start clowning, saying like a moist critical clone for talking in a more dull voice, or like just saying shit that I've heard, obviously I'm saying shit I've heard because that's how I learn. Also, I much prefer to be just more, this is how I am, a lot more laid back, a lot more chill. You know, hopefully this video does well enough so Asmongold sees it. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I actually had to buy an editing software for this, which is honestly crazy. But I'm a little worried there's going to be a watermark on it, but I doubt that'll ever happen. But yeah, that's all about Concord and how it was a bigger failure. Oh, I might as well add one more part then to this. This is a sign: make good games and people will play them. Look at Black Myth Wukong. Developer, I don't even know how many games the studio has. I think it's like 2, and one of them is Black Myth Wukong. That's honestly crazy to be able to just do that on your second game. Sony, being as big as it is, fucking up and making Concord is just pulling shit out of the toilet instead of making the shit yourself, honestly. Alright, have a good rest of your day, guys.